Hey guys, I'm back. It's been over a year since I bought my first mechanical keyboard, and I decided it's about time I upgraded. I'm going to be building the KBD67 Lite R3, one of the best boards at its price range. The reason I picked up the R3 instead of the newer R4 is because I wanted the transparent purple colorway. Shout out to Keys, I bought this board from them out of my own money. I also bought this Krytox 205 grade 0 from them, as well as this Zero brush. The keyboard comes in this really nice carrying case, which I'm surprised they even included considering this is a budget board. Inside the carrying case, you'll find a pretty bad coiled cable. It's like those old school landline cables, but it's fine. Then, the KBD fan screw and stabilizers, screws and rubber feet, the case itself, which we're gonna open later on, the case foam, the polycarbonate plate, the silicone plate dampener, which also acts as a gasket mounting system, and this majestic hot swap PCB, which will soon get smothered in fingerprints by my cursed hands. So that's everything you get in the carrying case. Let's start with the build. First, we're gonna test out the PCB and make sure all the keys are working. Everything was working fine, so that's done. Next, I decided to lube and tune my stabilizers. Though the kit did include KBD fan screw and stabilizers, I decided to use Durock V2 stabs in this build instead. They've been wholly modded, and I'll be lubing the housings with 205 grade 0 and dielectric grease for the wires. I honestly got really frustrated at this part because it was my first time modding stabilizers, but it turned out great anyway, so it's fine. Now, let's open up the case. I got it in this transparent purple colorway. Isn't that just beautiful? The mods I'll be doing to this board are the PE foam mod, tape mod, and polyfill to fill up the case. I added 2 layers of tape to the back of the PCB. And for the polyfill, I added a little bit too much at first and ended up just putting it in the upper half of the case, and it turned out fine. These mods will help with the overall acoustics of the board. I'm not entirely sure exactly how scientifically. Near Lucid made some really good videos on these mods, especially the PE foam and tape mod, where he explained how it works. So I'll link those down below. In short, the PE foam mod is to replicate that sound profile of the Jelly Epoch and creates that marbly poppy sound signature. You normally place it in between the PCB and the plate, but in this case, since the silicone dampener is in between there, we're gonna keep it under the silicone dampener. The polyfill mod is to reduce the hollowness and unwanted acoustics of the board. I don't exactly know how to explain how the tape mod works, but you tape the bottom of your PCB and it makes the keyboard sound a little more toward the middle of the pitch spectrum. Now that that's out of the way, we can start assembling our keyboard. Here, I put the silicone in between the PCB and the plate. However, as I mentioned, the PE foam is supposed to come under that, but I didn't film it. The switches I'll be using in this build are the Anubis tactile switches by Mex on Deck. I bought these from Canon Keys. I lubed them with Tribosis 3203 and spring swapped them with 67 gram Durock 2-stage springs. These switches are very low pitched and have a sharp tactile bump. They feel pretty good stock, and I didn't feel much of a difference after lubing them. The only downside I faced was that the top out felt a bit sluggish. That's why I spring swapped them. And spring swapping is what really made them shine as a switch. The keycap set I'll be using in this build is a GMK Black Lotus clone that I got off Amazon. They're double shot ABS plastic. They have a grainy-ish texture similar to PBT keycaps. They're actually fairly thick and the legends are crisp. A few inconsistencies here and there, but at this price point, I'd say this was a great buy. And there you have it, a fully built KBD67 Lite. Overall, this build was really fun for my first custom build. I made a few mistakes here and there, especially with the switch pins bending, but I'm just stupid. It was still fun. Anyway, enough talk. Let's hear how this board sounds.